Hey folks, welcome back. You're looking again at the Chanticleer 2D570 from the mid-1930s. I wanted to take advantage of this beautiful morning. Again, not a cloud in the sky, about 75 degrees, 100% humidity. So I went out about 6 a.m. this morning, stripped this cabinet down using some lacquer thinner and denatured alcohol. Wanted to get that out of the way. The temps over the next few days are going to be in the mid to the upper 90s with high humidity. So it's not going to be fun times outside for sure. So real quick, I already had some separation of this decorative piece on top, and I noticed it was only held in place by two finish nails, one in this corner that's still here, and then there was another finish nail here. And this was already lifting on one side from the previous, I think, video or pictures that I had shared. So not surprising that this continued to lift. And again, you see I've got some bow in this piece of wood. So I'll spend some time, put this between two pieces of wood with some vices and see if I can't get this a little closer to being flat again at some point and reattach it. If not, I'll reproduce that piece. Same thing holds true for this centerpiece. You can see that it's bowed and it had already separated as well. And actually there's 4 screws that hold the escutcheon on, but that's also the point where there were 4 finish nails. And I see really no glue, or if there was any glue at some point, adhesive, very little in these corners. This thing just peeled off with my fingers. But again, that piece goes on here, and I'll need to do the same with it. Just apply some pressure and see if I can't flatten it back out. This piece can be reproduced, but I really want to save the existing veneer if all possible. There's an additional trim piece here at the bottom, and it just popped right off as well, and that'll be an easy fix to get back on. So one of the major challenges again of the radio, when I was showing it before, I'm gonna have to recreate these corner pieces here. So I do have some ideas on the fabrication of what I'm going to do. I'm actually not going to try to bend the wood using steam or anything. These sections, just like on the other side, are just missing. They've kind of been knocked out. But that's the way the fabrication was done initially. So I'm actually going to use some birch plywood and use some epoxy, put these pieces together, and then cut these pieces out of this birch and just use some epoxy and put them back in place. Because I'll need to wrap that with veneer, replacement veneer back on top once these are in. Now this top piece here is a little wider, so I'll need more pieces of the birch to recreate this. This is about I think 1 1/8 wide, but I think I can pull it off that way instead of doing the whole section. Now when it comes to the veneer matching itself, I'm going to try to match the veneer on these pieces instead of wrapping new veneer on one side of the radio and not have it match the other, or wrapping the entire radio cabinet. I would prefer not to go the extra step. So once I get these corner pieces installed, I'm thinking what I'll do again is cut the veneer like I've done in the past. You never want a horizontal line or a vertical cut. I'll use diagonal cuts, or more like a diamond pattern. Don't pay attention to the grain line itself, but there'll be a cut made similar to this, and the same for the other side. And then I'll wrap the veneer around, and then I'll use marking pens or wax sticks to try to hide some of the flaws. And again, this particular veneer is lighter, so I'll probably try to darken it up real quick with some oak stain or walnut stain gel based. Just wipe it right back off. You really want the two veneers to be almost identically the same color before you apply your toners. Otherwise it's going to stand out and you'll never be able to match it. So we'll see what happens. Again, if I turn this thing around, this little piece of trim here is loose. There's some separation here as well. I'm not sure if that's picking up on the camera or not, but you know, I should be able to fix that. I'm not sure if this shows up underneath here. I'll try to hold it where you might be able to see it. Looks like glue blocks are in here at some point, so I'll put some quarter round molding in and get that back in place. And you can see the amount of where this particular part of the substrate is completely warped. So the radio will definitely have some personality on this side. That's probably just due to water damage at some point. And again, down here at the bottom, this piece of trim veneer that wraps the side right here, you can see it's separated as well. But I should be able to use some glue and get that back in place. And again, the same for this piece. So anyway, folks, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to shoot a quick video and let you know there's probably not going to be much going on with this cabinet. I'm going to let it completely dry for the next day or two, and I may go ahead and start the fabrication of these pieces and just play around with some you know, different techniques here. See if that's going to work out for me. If not, then you know, I'll back up and probably cut these pieces off in this area and just reproduce the entire piece instead of just the corner pieces. These are not load bearing, so again, I'll use the I may even use some balsa wood, you know, in this area as well. So hey, thanks for joining. I appreciate you you know, subscribers out there sticking with me on the restoration of the Chanticleer 2D570. Again, that's the 2D570 cabinet back from the 1930s. Probably be a couple weeks, folks, before I produce another video. So again, thanks for watching.